So eventually, you get to the place where you're not so urgent about this thing I want coming, this thing I want coming, this thing I want coming. You're just happy where you are, happy where you are, happy where you are, with a whole train or chain or a plethora of wonderful things just raining in all around you. And sometimes people will say, well, did you get that job you want? No. Well, why are you so happy? Because I'm happy. Did you find your mate? Did you make your fortune? Did you win the lottery? What justification are you using for your happiness? And when you get to the place where you say and mean, I don't need the manifestation as justification for my happiness, I'm happy in my journey on the way, then you're going to be happy every day of the rest of your life, and the manifestations that are going to rain in around you until people are saying, what have you got going on? Why do you get everything that you want? And you say, because my happiness doesn't depend on getting it. Why do you get everything that you want? Because I don't care if I get it or not. What? Why do you get everything that you want? Because I don't care whether I get it or not. What's wrong with you? Why don't you care whether you get it or not? Because I'm happy in the moving toward it. Because I'm happy in the idea of it. I'm happy in the becoming of it. I'm happy in the movement toward it. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy in the focusing on it. I'm happy in the essence of it. I'm happy in the idea of it. I'm happy in the unfolding of it. I'm happy in the growing of it. I'm happy. It doesn't have to manifest for me to be happy. And when you are there, then, well, first of all, you're happy. And then, just a steady stream of wonderful things flowing to you all the time. And people saying, it's not fair. You're getting more than your fair share. And what you want to say is, well, it might not be even, but it's always fair. It might not be even, because different people are doing different things with this stream. A lot of people are pinching themselves off from the abundance of wonderful things that are lined up for them. So it's not even, because some of you are letting it in, and some of you aren't. But it is always fair, because whatever is coming is a perfect vibrational match to the vibrational frequencies that you are continuously outputting. Helpful?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, so good to be here.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested in the if you could talk a little bit about the dynamics between the condition and the unconditioned, or the space to navigate between the two. And I guess the question really is about expansion and freedom within relationships.
Well, let's take the first part of it first. So, unconditional, this is not a difficult thing to get your thoughts around. This is easy to understand. So when I see this thing that is pleasing to me, this condition that is pleasing to me, I have a pleasing response to it. So while that seems like a good thing to look for positive aspects, and it is a good thing to look for positive aspects, I also might be training myself to need to see it before I feel it. So I'm looking around for conditions, and I find good conditions, and I feel good. But then, now I'm used to looking around. In the process of looking around for good conditions, I see some bad conditions, and then I feel bad. So then I say, these conditions need to be like those conditions. You say to your children, if you were like her, if you would be like I was when I was your age, if you were a condition that matched that condition, then we would be having a better relationship right now. But since you're not even trying to adjust yourself to meet my criteria for a good condition, then you must not love me, because you're not trying to adjust your condition so that I can lazily, we love you so much, so that I can lazily have a good feeling response to you. Where if you are unconditional in your love, then you're not looking for love in all the wrong places. You're not looking for it in the conditions. You're looking for it and finding it in the exhilaration of who you really are. Do you know where what you're looking for is? You launched it, you put it into the vortex, your inner being is surrounding it, and it is surrounding your inner being, and that is all of that source of love that you're looking for. It's your inner being, it's the source. What you're looking for is who you now are and where you now are. Your source is not outside of you, your source is within you. And that's the love that you're looking for. And so that's the unconditioned part. In other words, I'm happy because I'm in alignment, not because I won the lottery. I'm happy because I'm in alignment, not because a condition coaxed me into being happy. I'm happy because I want to be happy. You know why you're happy? Here it is. I'm happy because I'm not unhappy. Now, stay with us just a minute. I'm happy because I'm not unhappy. That sounds silly. But what we mean is, happy is natural to you, and you will be that naturally happy being unless you're focused upon something that puts resistance into your vibration and doesn't allow you to hook up. So being plugged in is what happiness is, because that's where your clarity is, that's where your exhilaration is, that's where your energy is, that's where your balance is, that's where your well-being is, that's where your timing is, that's where your... In other words, that's what you're reaching for. You're reaching, and why is that what you're reaching for? Oh, here we're having a leading edge conversation with so many of you that are your first seminar ever. We haven't not said this to you before in this way, so enjoy this leading edge conversation. Do you know what real happiness is? It's catching up with where you went before you knew it. The contrast caused you to go there. The contrast caused you to go there, and you became. You fulfilled your reason for being. You sifted through contrast, and you came to new clarity, and you became more vibrationally. But now the physical part of you that is also vibrating, has to catch up with where you've been, with what you've become, with who you now are. And if you don't come into alignment with your request, if you don't come into alignment with what you're asking for, then there's that contrast that you translate through the emotion of unhappiness. Did that make sense to you? So your inner being, so picture this. So we're going to use words that don't apply, but picture yourself standing on the brink of coming into your physical body. Now, everything about that statement is wrong because you're not standing anywhere. Your consciousness, but you are aware that your consciousness is focused toward this physical beingness. And we want you to feel the enthusiasm with which you are focused there, because you know for sure that because of all the creating that you've done before, in other words, we haven't even talked about all of the intentionality that you held as non-physical beings about the subject of coming into this body. We haven't even talked about that at all, and yet so much intention from your non-physical soul, source, consciousness about being in this body. And you are about to become, hear this, you are about to become the manifestation of your source's desire. Splat, you are born. Standing on the brink of that manifestation. Can you feel how big that is and how important that is? So here you are. In this physical body. In this physical body, becoming, changing, knowing, stretching, giving birth to new desires. And you, taking the universe to places that it has never been before. Now you're going to feel the gap if you don't catch up pretty quick. That's the love you're looking for. It's not somebody else adoring you. It's not somebody else holding you as their object of attention while they're in alignment. What you're looking for when you're looking for love, you're looking for your complete and full reconnection with the whole of who you are. And nothing less than that will ever do for you. And you're not going to find it in the arms of a lover, although that's nice. You're not going to find it in some magnificent structure, although that's nice too. In other words, what you want to do is reconnect with the whole of who you are and then take a tour. Reconnect with who you are and then. And so, did we answer your question about relationships? Because the only relationship that we would be thinking about if we were standing in your physical shoes for a while would be the relationship between your thoughts and the thoughts of your inner being, would be the relationship between you and you.
Yeah, so so because I was interested in, I'm interested in the dynamics.
Meaning?
It's almost as if when you've got a really, really beautiful relationship, and you still want the freedom within it, and you want freedom for both of you, it's almost as if you have to let it go as soon as you start to become intimate.
What's happening here with this conversation about relationships and with a lot of conversations about a lot of manifestations is that sometimes without knowing you've even done it, you have managed to focus on something or not focus on something. We started to say earlier, and we didn't complete the thought, that your happy state, your alignment is like you are cork bobbing on the surface of the water. And you can hold the cork under and introduce resistance, but when you let go, you're going to bob right back up again. And so when you realize that the alignment that we are talking about all day, every day, is really what you're all reaching for, that is the relationship, that alignment with who you are is the relationship that you are looking for, and you're able to maintain it, then what happens is it unfolds, it becomes more, you get impulses, and then you have a manifestation. But what so many people do, because they weren't really aware, because they didn't do it deliberately, they weren't aware of what happened that brought them into the manifestation. Now the manifestation has happened, now they're turning their attention to the action of the manifestation instead of the tending to the energy. It's like, all right, Abraham, I've listened to your message and I get this stuff. You wave your arms around and I get it that I had contrast and I get it that there's a vortex and I get it that somehow I lined up with it and I get it that I was in the receiving mode and I get it that I've created this relationship, but now this relationship is giving me fits. What should I do? What should I do about it now? And so instead of doing the only thing that works and the thing that created it to begin with, now you get into your human, we love you so much, action mode, where you try to deal with things through your action rather than tending to them through your vibration. Because within that relationship, as we said earlier, you have created a new and improved relationship. This existing relationship has made a better one with this person that you're not up to speed with because you're so involved with the person that's in the relationship that you're in. In other words, you're so intoxicated by the action part of your creation that you're not tending to the energy again. Did that make sense to you? In other words, even after a manifestation has happened, this is what is tripping most people up so that they are not able to maintain a good feeling. You line up in fits and spurts. You line up and things manifest, and then you try to maintain or tend to your manifestations in a whole different way than the way it came to you to begin with. It's a little bit like, here's a good example. It's like someone who has written a really good book or painted a beautiful picture, and now they want to market it. And they're all wadded up and all balled up and all worried about. And none of the juices that flowed when they wrote the book are present, and none of the good feeling juices that flowed when they painted the painting are present. Now they're trying to deal with the marketing of it through action instead of finding that same stream that helped them to create the painting. That's the same stream that will help them now market the book. So the same stream that helped you to find the relationship is the same stream that will help you to keep it going happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's the vibrational work that you have to do first.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah.
So, enough?
Yeah, can I ask another question?
Is it far off the topic of the one you just asked?
It's a little, yeah, it is a bit. But it's good. It's a good question.
We know it's a good question, but we don't want to step back from what we just accomplished here together.
Okay.
So we would rather
will you-
rather take a discussion about what you meant about the relationship.
Yeah,
You started to
okay.
offer that to us.
Yeah, okay, I'd like to continue that.
Yes.
So basically, I'm talking about a beautiful, beautiful relationship, and I'm obviously
And
interested in.
how does a beautiful relationship? What does that mean?
Oh, it just mean elation, everything, and then when you become very intimate, you then tend to start to have expectations, make plans and stuff, and then you can try to. You might not agree on certain things, and you're just trying to see how you can keep it going.
Well, that's what we were just talking
yes,
about.
I know. So that was what.
So how are you going? So given what we just talked about,
yeah.
and how it resonated with you,
Yeah.
what does that mean that you would now do?
Well,
instead of that.
Yeah, so what I like to do is I'll go into the differences, because I remember you once said that it's the differences that makes your relationship strong. And I really like to go into all that and see how you can, because sometimes you tend to want people to be, or your partner to be the same as you in order to agree. And
Well, that's that conditional stuff
exactly.
again.
So I don't want that.
So let's not take the time to go into a lot of all of that.
No.
Just give us one example of some condition that needs to be different, because that's what you're talking about. In other words, you created a magnificent.
I don't want anything to be different, but I want to be able to, as soon as I feel, it's like moment by moment, as soon as I feel that I would like a certain condition, like a commitment to, for example, go traveling.
But think about what we're saying here.
Yeah.
This is good. So I get it that I create through thought and alignment. I get that, and I'm feeling happy, and now I'm focused in an action part of my life, and I've found something that I've decided to be unhappy about.
Yes.
And
I see what you're going.
And so what do I do now? And we say, so now the momentum is such that there's really not much that you can do, and yet that's where most people spend most of their life.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you spend most of your thoughts thinking about.
Yeah. I see.
So the answer is you leave it right there, and you say, this feeling is my indication that I'm going about it in the wrong way. I'm going about it in a way that will not work. I'm going about it in an action way. I'm asking for something that is not. I'm not adjusting my vibration. I'm asking for something else to change so that I can have a response to it.
Yeah.
And so. Back away from the thoughts. So how could you get back into the awareness of the loving relationship? So you get a good night's sleep, you wake up, and then what do? You focus upon something about the relationship that feels really good.
Yeah.
And as you focus upon something about the relationship that feels really good, then the relationship blossoms even more for you. And then again, you stumble on a difference, something that you want that the other one doesn't want. So then what do? Do you wrestle it to the ground and kill it? Do you have an argument about it? Do you have a debate? Do you weigh the pros and the cons of it? That's just more of shoring up your that's just adding more engines to the end of the train that you don't mean to. So what do? You cease the subject. You let it lie dormant for a little bit by meditating or taking a nap. You go to sleep, you wake up, and now you're focusing upon the beautiful aspects of this relationship again. And as you continue to do that, if you will continue to realign with who you are. You see, this is the thing that you're not remembering, and it's the thing that we talk so much about. Everything that you want, everything that you have not found in the relationship that you think you want, when you didn't find it, you put it into your vortex. Mm-hmm. You didn't find it, so you put it into your vortex. Now it's in the vortex is doing the work. Law of attraction is gathering the cooperative components. Your inner being is there amplifying all of that. So you did the work with your struggle. You put it into the vortex, and now you wake up and you feel good, and more of it comes, but not enough of it came. So more contrast, you put more of it in the vortex. And so you wake up, and more of it came, but you didn't let it in because you're focused on. And so what keeps happening is the vortex keeps being full of more of the relationship that you want. But when you keep struggling for it, trying to get it to come out where you can see it through your demands or through your statements or through your compromises or through your long talks with one another as you try to wear the other one down to get the other one to give you what you want, what happens is your vortex is still full, your inner being is still there, you're just not letting it in.
No.
And so at some point, we so want you to realize you've already got it done. You don't have to argue your point anymore. You don't have to convince anybody that they need to be different. Your vortex is the full realized version of what you want. You just want to chill so that you can get enough into the receptive mode that you can be at the right place at the right time and have the right timing and say the right thing in order to be the realizer of what you want. And then you'll say, it's a miracle. I got what I want. When what you actually did was you finally let in what you've wanted for a while, what has been ready for you for a while, but you haven't been ready for it. And the reason you are not ready for it is because you're too focused upon what has manifested, which isn't it. Did you hear that? It is in the vortex, and it will come to you. But as long as you're looking where it isn't, you can't let in what is. Oh, it's so powerful and so important. And we get animated about it because we can see all of you. We see everything that you're trying to articulate. You can't even articulate it very well. No one can. No one can. Because what's in your vortex is so much more, so much faster, so much better, so much more than any scanty words that you can ever find about it. And here you are babbling on and on about how can I get closer to what I want when all you got to do is a handful of things. So we're going to ask you, do you believe that you are a vibrational being?
Yes.
And do you believe that you live in a vibrational universe?
Yes.
And does it make sense to you that through the contrast that you've lived, that you have contributed a stream of thoughts all of the days of this physical life and even before you got into this body that have amassed in a vibrational reality? Can you accept that? We know that's the piece that's a little hard because you can't see it, but is it logical, given what you know? So some of it you put there yesterday. A lot of it's been there for a while. It's in various stages of evolution and readiness for you. But there's enough there to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes, so you really don't need to keep working on putting stuff in there. So, can you accept that when we tell you that your manifestation is past tense, that what we mean is what's in the vortex is present tense as far as your inner being is concerned? Are you able to, for a moment, separate yourself from your inner being enough to know that there's a version of you that is non-resistant, that is standing with all of your things, with all of the things that you want? Can you feel that you-ness, that version of you? And now can you feel the satisfaction of those two yous merging? And can you feel that when you let yourself merge with that, that ideas will come to you, that timing will come, that inspiration will come, that events will come, that circumstances will come? And doesn't that really feel like what life is really all about? In other words, isn't that really what you want? So, and this is the leading edge question that we want to ask you specifically. If all of that is true, and it is our promise to you that it is, and if you are feeling resonance with it, and we can feel that you are, then doesn't it right now in this moment seem absolutely silly to be banging around in physical stuff trying to fix things physically? Doesn't that just seem odd? I need to talk to you about something. What is it? Well, I just need to explain to you something that isn't going very well. Sit down. I need to explain to you how I feel. Really? Really? You've got infinite intelligence over here tending to what you really want, and you're going to try to get it out of somebody here? Are you following us? Can you feel how silly it is to be trying to take action to make things happen? What you want to say is, hey, I need to go to bed because I'm not getting from you what I'm capable of getting from you, and it's not your fault. What you want to say is, this relationship isn't giving us what we deserve because I'm going about it the hard way. I'm going to go to sleep and do it the easy way. I'm going to meditate and do it the easy way. I'm going to make lists of positive aspects and do it the easy way. I'm going to let it come as it comes and do it the easy way. I'm going to stop trying to demand it. I'm going to stop stomping on the corn and demanding that it come up and show itself to me. I'm going to let it gestate. I'm going to let it get ready, and I'm going to get ready, and we're going to rendezvous. I'm going to rendezvous with my true desire, and you might be in on it. I don't know for sure. I'm going to rendezvous with my true desire. And all cooperative components that the universe has gathered up are going to be, now you might not want to tell this to everybody. But you're understanding it, aren't you? Don't you feel less inclined to try to create through conversations and more inclined to know that the vortex knows, and more inclined to get in alignment, and then more inclined to have the conversation, the right conversation, when it's inspired to you? So what we just talked about, what we just explained to you, is what deliberate creating is. And everything else, the things that you were talking about and the things you were wanting us to guide you about, that's reacting. That's reacting to conditions. So when we're talking about conditional living, mostly what we're saying, if you want to be unconditional, you want to be